We are living in a very, very critical time, and markets at this critical time are going to be absolutely explosive. Hi, I'm Joe DiNapoli. Welcome to the DiNapoli Leading Indicator YouTube channel. Your look into the future.
Good day, traders. As we are in the midst of ongoing trade wars and the increasingly volatile global economic and financial landscape, there is one asset that continues to capture attention of investors worldwide. It is gold. Over the past year, gold has experienced significant fluctuations. So many investors might be wondering about the future direction of the gold market. So today, we are really honored to welcome two key figures in the global trading economy. Mr. Joe DiNapoli, author of the book, Trading with DiNapoli Levels, and widely known as the godfather of Fibonacci. And Mr. Monchai Kongthanapakdi, financial expert of DiNapoli Levels. They will join us today to discuss the topic, Analyzing Gold Trends for 2025 with the DiNapoli Levels method. Without further ado, let's begin. So Mr. DiNapoli will start by sharing his insight into the current state of the gold market. Over to you, Mr. Joe and Mr. Monchai.
First thing I'd like to do is thank FinTrade and also EBC for making this possible. I find great pleasure in being able to share my knowledge with traders out there. At this point in my life, I find it's very rewarding.
First thing, you may share your insight about the gold market.
We are living in a very, very critical time, and markets at this critical time are going to be absolutely explosive. Understand, it's not just the gold market. We're talking Forex, we're talking equities, we're talking bonds. We are going to have explosive and dramatic moves that will equal or exceed what happened in 2008. The opportunities and the risk is not small, it's not medium, it's enormous. These are fantastic markets if you're equipped to handle them. So I'm going to go through a full analysis of gold. I'm going to show you exactly what I think, and I'm going to go step by step. This is how I make all my predictions, and I've been very fortunate. I've made very accurate predictions in the past, and I'm going to step by step go through and show you how I do it. Now understand, this is the same whether I'm doing Forex, gold, equities, or anything else. It's always the same approach. And DiNapoli Levels, as Kun Monchai well knows, is a matter of context, entry and exit. Context, entry and exit. The fundamentals will be the first thing I discuss. That's why this chart does not have any indicators on it. It's going to be a fundamental discussion of where we are in the gold market. This is a yearly chart. A yearly chart is showing an explosive move in the gold market. And from my point of view, based on fundamental analysis, my point of view is that this is just the beginning. We could see a gold market that has increases of $500 a day. The gold market is linked to US stability. In other words, the stability or lack of stability in America deeply affects the gold market. That American power is not in its warship, it's not in its ability to code, it's not in Google. American power is derived specifically from its ability to spend money, unhinged, spend money, spend money, spend money. America can no longer do this today. America has abused this privilege. It is $2 trillion in deficit per year. And the ability to have this unlimited credit card is now going away. And the main thing that you need to take away from this is that this is what's happening. This is why the gold market is going so crazy. I have known Khun Wanchai 20 years. I trust him. If he needed $100,000 and came to me, I would, no problem, I'd loan it to him right away. So the situation in America is now such that people don't trust. Why don't people trust America? We have frozen Russian assets. In 2022, we froze Russian assets. Before that, we froze the assets of Venezuela, and then we froze the assets of Iran, and then we froze the assets of Afghanistan. So people don't trust the US anymore. Where are you going to put your money? That's the question, because people don't trust the US anymore. So some people say, well, let's put the money in China, the yuan. That's a good idea. There's a huge economy, maybe the biggest. Why don't you put your money in the yuan? You can't put money in the yuan, because if you do, you can't get the money out of the country. If, for example, if you have 1,000,000 yuan, which is not much money really, it would take you a decade to move the money out according to the currency rules of China. What about the Japanese yen? You put money there, they are in terrible debt. Not a good idea. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's okay for young people, but older people, they're very suspicious. Bitcoin can be stolen, it can be lost. One day you put your thumb drive in and $1 million in Bitcoin is gone. So what's happening is that huge quantities of money from China, from other countries, from all over the world, even the US, is being funneled into the gold market. And things are going to get more unstable. They're not going to get less unstable. They're going to get more unstable. More money is going to be going into gold. I think this market could go absolutely vertical, explosive, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I rate the chance of that at about 10%. So I'm saying about a 10% chance of an explosive vertical rise and about 90% chance of a slower, more controlled rise. Now you might say, geez, 10%, Joe, that's not an awful lot. But if I told you had a 10% chance to die today, I think you'd think that was very high. What I'm saying here is that the context, the fundamental context for this trade with gold is extremely strong for an upside move. Now with every trade, you have to decide, where am I wrong? Where could I be wrong? And at what point would I not have faith in this trade? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a step-by-step process according to DiNapoli techniques, and I'm going to show you where we're at in the gold market. DiNapoli levels is far more than Fibonacci work. We have other indicators that provide the context for the Fibonacci work. All right, the blue line is a displaced moving average called the 3x3. I use this displaced moving average in order to identify certain patterns that we use. We call these patterns directional indicators. This is a daily chart of gold. We have the 3x3 on here. There is no directional indicator. Okay, this is a weekly chart, and it also has the 3x3 on there, and there is no directional indicator. Incidentally, these directional indicators are in Chapter 6 of Trading with DiNapoli Levels. This is a monthly chart. Again, no directional indicator. So we've got daily, weekly, monthly, no directional indicator as defined by the 3x3. Okay, there's the quarterly chart, no directional indicator. This is the yearly, no directional indicator. Okay, what we have here is the MACD predictor. It's one of our leading indicators. It is an incredible indicator, and what this is showing right now is that the trend is down. Okay, now this is a weekly chart, and it's showing that the MACD predictor is telling us that we have a very strong uptrend. Now, you see where the arrow is pointing. If we get a move quickly down to the level of where that arrow is pointing, we will get a pattern which indicates a serious reversal in the gold chart. If we were to get that price movement and therefore the directional indicator, it would indicate significantly lower prices in gold. That would have to happen in the next 2 weeks. Okay, this is showing the monthly MACD. The trend is strongly up. All right, what this is showing is the quarterly chart. Again, trend is strongly up. All right, this is the yearly chart. And we can see again that the trend is strongly up because we're well above the MACD predictor. I am known as the godfather of Fibonacci work, okay? And what you need to understand is Fibonacci work is the last thing I do. It's the last thing I do, not the first thing I do. Now we're going to go to DiNapoli levels. This is a yearly expansion, and we are at an XOP. Now it's difficult for me to explain to you, for me to make you understand how powerful, how incredibly powerful a yearly XOP expansion is. It's a resistance level, and that's what stopped this gold market at approximately 3250. It's as if the market has run into concrete and steel. It is very, very strong, and that's the only reason that this market stopped. That's the only reason. So as a DiNapoli trader, you would have this number ahead of time because it's a leading indicator. Now, there's two reasonable ways that you can play this. Most of my students would go short gold at approximately that area on a low time frame, like maybe a 30-minute chart. That's a reasonable way to play it. So shorting this market on a low time frame chart would be a reasonable way to play it. But I choose to play it in a different manner. I'm going to use this XOP as a point from which I can determine a buy signal, not a sell. I'm looking now for a buy signal because I'm so damn bullish on gold. So first we get the XOP resistance, then we get the MACD giving us a trend sell to the downside. And the third thing we do is we calculate support levels from this daily chart from which I am a buyer, a big, big buyer. So I'm using a sell signal to position myself on the long side. All right, what we're showing here are DiNapoli support levels. This is called a confluence level on a weekly chart. We're simply showing deeper places that you can get long this market. But it doesn't mean we're going to get there. What it means is if we get there, this is where you want to be a buyer. Look, I already have positions in gold. I have positions in silver. I have a small position in Bitcoin. I want to get a lot more. Listen, the chaos is just beginning. Most of it caused from what's going on in America. And I don't know if you have the interest. If you have the interest, I have Donald Trump nailed. I know why he does what he does. If you want me to get into that in a later question, I can, but I'll let you decide what your questions are going to be. That's the analysis on the gold chart. We don't show them on any more charts, but from memory, I can tell you that we've got some resistance in gold at approximately 3720, and we got more resistance on gold at approximately 4,250. Those are expansion levels, and I think we're going to see them reasonably soon.
2007 and
the two numbers, one is around
27.
3,700 roughly, and the other one is around 4,200.
4,000 something?
4,200. So this is my lengthy analysis of the gold market. I'm sorry, I couldn't compress it any more, but I wanted to show the viewers how I analyze every market. Oil, equities, it doesn't matter. Forex, doesn't matter. I go through this process.
Thank you, Kun Joe. I learned a lot from your presentation just now about the rise and fall of the US and how it's linked to the gold market, and also the benefit of the leading indicators. So we know how we act before other people act, and also how to use the DiNapoli levels effectively, particularly in the gold market at the time being. And so we have one question about practical application. The DiNapoli levels are often described as easy to enter but difficult to master. What strategy or approach should traders, whether it be novice or experienced, can adopt to apply these levels effectively?
Okay, so first of all, you have to understand that DiNapoli levels is not common Fibonacci work. DiNapoli levels consists of expansions, retracements, revisits. You have controlling expansions. There's many aspects to DiNapoli levels that goes way beyond Fibonacci work. We have node breakers, we have expansion A, we have controlling expansion B. There are many aspects to this. You have to spend some time to learn this. Study the book. We have an excellent translation in Thai. Kun Monchai did an excellent translation. We have a Thai translation. You need to spend the time to study this material because it's not your obvious Fibonacci work. We provide seminars so that people can properly learn how to apply this material. It's very powerful material, but like anything powerful, you have to spend the time to learn how to properly use it. Kun Monchai is an excellent teacher. He's here, obviously, in Thailand, and from now and then he does seminars. We had approximately a month ago, I taught, along with a DiNapoli expert, a lifetime trading seminar here in Bangkok. We had a great time. It was right when the markets were crashing, so they were great markets. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for your answer for the previous question. To be master always takes time, understand that. And now will be the media colleague session. And so they will ask you a question one by one. From the media, they would like to know about the DiNapoli levels, structure and theory. And they also would like to know the KPI and how can we check that it is successful by using this method?
Let me take the second part first. How can they tell if they're successful? Because people around the world are making money on this stuff, hand over fist. Now, only those people that truly understand it and have been taught properly. As far as the structure is concerned, everything about the natural world is a function of Fibonacci relationships. If you go to the Louvre in France and you look at the paintings, they're in the form of Fibonacci relationships. Your tooth, the size of your tooth is Fibonacci relationships. Your arms to the length of your body, Fibonacci relationship. It is a structure in nature. It is some magical thing in nature which can be moved over to the investment market. You just have to do it right.
What type of asset
Asset? Okay.
Yeah, that should use or match or suitable for using the DiNapoli levels method?
Basically, if it trades, it works. So, I mean, with Forex, equity, bond, one time in America many years ago, I did real estate prices. I charted real estate, that works. Works in Indonesia, works in Europe, works in African markets. We have a DiNapoli expert in South Africa, mentoring expert like Kun Monchai. Works on those markets. So it's universal.
And they asked about the DiNapoli levels method. This one will give the precision on the time frame or not?
Some people, some analysts use Fibonacci for time. I've done research on this, considerable amount, And I don't think it's accurate enough. So I do it on price levels, but not on time level.
And so in your point of view, what kind of asset that is most interesting at the time being? Cryptocurrency or bond or gold or any type, any kind? Your
You
thought?
You just described my portfolio. I do them all. Gold, crypto, equities. Tonight, I'll be trading equities, U.S. equities, but it works across the board. I think the gold market's going to be absolutely incredible, and I think Forex is going to be unbelievable over the next year. Because of some of the things I mentioned earlier when we were talking about gold, we have a situation where there are piles and piles and piles of money to be taken by the knowledgeable trader. And this won't last forever. It's going to last maybe 1 year, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 years. Huge possibility, but it's only for the highly knowledgeable trader. And most people will lose money. Most people always lose money because they're not prepared. But there's a special situation occurring now, as we had in 2008. You know, 2008, when everything was crashing, I made more money than I made, I think, in the previous 5 years. These are the markets traders like myself, like Kun Manchai, we pray for.
Thai stock market and US stock market. Now the trend is still uptrend or not? Or which direction?
I can't mention, can't talk about the Thai stock market because I have not done my homework. I would leave Kun Manchai to talk about that. However, the U.S. market's done. It's done like last week's chicken that was thrown out in the trash. I'm getting net short, first time in 4 years, okay? I'm now getting net short, and I'm quite sure that tonight, when I go back and trade, that I'll be getting more short. Now, with DiNapoli levels, the actual Fibonacci work, you can always get expansions up and expansions down. So with regard to the context indicators, the first one, as we did with gold, you look at the fundamental analysis. We got wars, we got weak bond markets, we got tariffs, we got a president that appears like he's crazy. So now you look at the technical context indicators and all the patterns and stuff, and we still have one. I don't know if you've noticed this, Kun Manchai, but on the quarterly MACD predictor, we're getting what is called a stop grabber. That one indicator, only one, is saying we're going to go to new highs. But it's a quarterly. This is May, June, hasn't closed yet. So we've got another 8 weeks, or about 8 weeks before that closes. But we have one telling us we're going up, and we got everything else saying we're going down.
You mean equity?
I'm sorry?
Equity market?
In the equity market, right.
Because Thai people now more interested in gold, and so they would like you to know your thought about forecasting this market.
Okay, we spent about an hour going through a complete analysis of the gold market. And so I suggest that, first of all, that you watch that because it was before you got here. Yeah, I'm very bullish gold. I own Thai gold. In the presentation I gave earlier, I have specific places where I want to get long. I showed those. What you must realize is that with DiNapoli levels, these numbers, they don't stay static. They move with the market. So what I showed you on that chart today, it may be good for 2 months, it may be good for 3 days, we don't know. But I want to own more gold, I'll tell you that. This may surprise you, okay? I own gold, right? Not a huge amount, but I definitely own gold. I own silver. I want the price to come down. Please come down because I want a whole lot more. that's the way I think. We are against, okay, I might be wrong. And the reason I might be wrong is because of that massive yearly resistance that I showed earlier. And that could drive the gold market significantly lower. I hope it does. I want more.
And so the first one, we will start with this. What mistakes do you see for new traders often make when using DiNapoli levels, and what do you recommend to avoid them?
The classic mistake that new traders make is they don't get the education, they don't get the training, they think it's easy. There's another mistake they make, and that is they don't know how to size properly. They don't understand the margin. When I was 22 years old, was starting to trade significant quantities. I made that error. I borrowed a lot of money in order to trade stocks, and I did quite well for a while, and then, so this is the second mistake they make.
Why do so many people lose in the Forex market?
Well, Forex markets are probably a little tougher than some markets. But the answer is the same. The reason they lose is because they haven't got the education. You know, think about this. Pretend I have a long knife, and Khun Monchai, I want to do appendectomy on you, okay? I watched 2 YouTube videos about doing appendectomy. Do you want me to do? I don't think so. Lack of training. People cannot become a doctor in 5 minutes. People cannot become a trader in 5 minutes. They need to have the time to learn this. Otherwise, they lose everything.
How much knowledge will we gain from you?
You gain the amount of knowledge that you are ready to assimilate. There's a teaching in Buddhism. It goes like this. It says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. This is absolutely 100% true. If you have thoroughly studied the book, okay, before you view the videos today, you will take away much more than if you have not. It's that simple.
How can we reach out to you after this session? Do you have any social media channel that we can follow, both Khun Joe and Khun Monchai?
Okay, people can reach me on fibtrader.com. That's FIBTRADER.com. And if you scroll down on that page, you'll see Khun Monchai's handsome face. If you click on his photo, then you can be brought to his website. Now, we're starting a YouTube channel. It's already going, but it doesn't have too much yet. But we're starting a YouTube channel, and that's DiNapoli Leading Indicators. And if you type that in, you should be able to find us. There's one more thing I should say, is that right now we have, I think, about 6, maybe 7 DiNapoli mentoring experts. Khun Monchai is the DiNapoli mentoring expert. It's hard to become a DiNapoli mentoring expert. I've known Khun Monchai 20 years. And it usually takes about 5 years for somebody to go through the vetting process. Because I don't care about the money. I want to know, do they have a good heart? Can you trust them? Do they know the material? Do they teach? Can they teach? Can they speak? Mm-hmm. So Monchai has achieved those levels, and he's been a mentoring expert now for many, many years, and the clients and students are very happy with him.
So thank you so much. I think everyone in this room learned a lot from you.
I hope so.
Yeah, and the market in this particular time, or even the general trading, is, as you said, is for the most knowledgeable persons. So we need to study and keep practicing in order to master. And so it's, yes, it takes time, but it's possible.
It's definitely possible. Mm-hmm. But it's going to take longer than most people think. And I want to take this opportunity to thank EBC and FinTrader, for the opportunity to speak with you all today. It's my pleasure, and it's Kun Manchai's pleasure.
And so we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our distinguished guests, Kun Joe DiNapoli and Kun Monchai Kongthanapakdi, for your valuable time and sharing the insight and expertise with us, all of us today. And so special thanks as well to FinTrade Financial Trader Club for providing this venue that we everyone together today. And to our main sponsor, EBC Financial Group, for making this today events possible. And so we're looking forward to seeing you again in our next event. And thank you and goodbye.
Want to take your trading to the next level with DiNapoli Levels? Get started with the free DiNapoli onboarding program. Just click the link in the description below. Keep learning and watch this next video to dive deeper into the world of DiNapoli trading techniques and refine your trading strategy. If you found this content valuable, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll never miss an update on our latest trading insights. Trade smart, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next video.